Carsen Edwards attacking and throwing it down.
There's a steal. Carsen Edwards. Oh, my goodness. Hammer time.
Carsen Cade Edwards, born March 12, 1998. In today's feature, let's talk about circumstances in basketball that can make or break your career, even when you have the talent to be in the league like Carsen Edwards. If you're not too familiar with him, he was top 10 in scoring in the NCAA 2018-19 at 24.3 points a game. 0.2 behind Ja Morant, who was the second overall pick that year and has went on to be a star in the NBA, already the Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, All-NBA selection, and NBA All-Star in just 3 years. Carsen Edwards was a top 100 recruit, ranked the 16th best point guard of his high school class. Ja Morant famously unranked, finishing his high school career. Not to compare the two because so much is different about them, and those differences are huge when you talk about translating to the next level. But more than those, I think circumstances were the biggest reasons Carsen Edwards could go from dominating college basketball as a 5'11" shooting guard and still be taken in the second round of the NBA draft. Then, in 3 years, he's out of the league. Just a few days ago, signing a contract in Turkey. Was Carsen Edwards that worse a player than Ja Morant? I remember going into the 2019 draft and watching closely how Edwards' stock was doing by the week and waiting for his name to catch that flame you see in every draft where scouts lock in on a player or two, speaking their name into a higher draft pick than anyone expected, and that never happened. I was shocked because I like Carsen Edwards' game. Listed 6'1" in college, I'm guessing he shrunk in the NBA? But nevertheless, his height was never a factor in why he didn't become what he could have, as he had elite athleticism, great elevation and quick release on his jump shot. Speed and change of direction or pace were on another level, and he was a dog, competitive as they come. Seeing him slip to the second round, I just knew the league had messed up and that he would easily turn out to be much better than his draft selection. At least one of the best point guards in that class. Of course, here we are today, where of the 4 point guards drafted before him, 2 are already NBA All-Stars, both on the verge of entering huge contracts next year, securing one thing Carsen Edwards surprisingly couldn't: longevity. Again, I'm of the belief that not all is on Carsen Edwards himself for not sticking longer, but the circumstances of his journey, compared to others or not, stunted his growth as an NBA basketball player. Why was that? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. You can also send a super thanks by clicking the button below. Enjoy the video. Carsen Edwards, again, was a 5'11" point guard shooting guard from Houston, Texas, and attended Atascocita High School, where early on he was a dual sport athlete in football and basketball. It wasn't until his junior year that he focused solely on hoops, leading his team in scoring and assists, becoming the Player of the Year by the Houston Chronicle. Since high school, I began watching his game because there was something about him when it came to performing when the lights were the brightest. At first, you see him and think, well, size will definitely be an issue with his play. But you then saw that defenses could not stay in front of him on that level. His jumper was too quick and too polished to defend, and he had the athletic ability to finish above the rim and quick enough for bigger defenders not to affect his finish. This led to an outstanding senior year, averaging 26.3 points, 5.1 assists, and 4.9 rebounds per game, and top 20 in the nation. He committed to Purdue before his senior season over Texas, Baylor, and Vanderbilt. Stunt number 1, not leaving after his junior season. In deciding whether or not to do pretty much anything in life, you will learn that timing is everything. In basketball, that couldn't be more true. It can literally be the determining factor in a guaranteed 4 years in the NBA as a development focus of a team, or a second round selection where every day you're playing to push yourself in the faces of a GM and coaches who are preoccupied developing the 21st pick that year or 13th or 4th selection. Your job becomes that much harder because those said individuals' job is on the line to make the prospect they chose work out, or at least are put in the best situation to. For a guy like Edwards, every play may feel like a short leash and every mistake is led by doubt that you even belong. Carsen Edwards went to Purdue and hit the ground running as a freshman, averaging 10 points a game and starting 21 of the 35 games. His sophomore year, he went off. He jumped his scoring by 8 points a game, had his lowest turnover season, career-high three-point percentage at 40%, attempting 6.5 a game. His team made it to the regional semis, deep enough to say as the leader, he affected winning that season. The team went 30-7, and Edwards was named a second-team All-American, All-Conference, and won the Jerry West Award for Best Shooting Guard in the country. I promise you, if he left after that year, he would have been a first-round pick in the 2018 draft. You can't tell me he's not better than Aaron Holiday. One reason he decided to go back to Purdue was when he attended the 2018 draft combine, he didn't receive the interest he wanted. Whether it was second round he was hearing, or maybe he felt hearing late first instead of lottery made him feel he could do a lot better. I don't think he should have even worked out at the combine and leave his name as an unknown sleeper pick, not giving teams the chance to see him in the most unorganic setting like a combine. Going back to school also gives teams an idea that you weren't good enough to come out early. What's a year really gonna change? Even though Edwards was a beast his junior season, averaging over 24 points a game, another 6-point increase, deeper run in the tournament, shooting 10 threes a game and making 35% of them, still, it wasn't enough to secure a first-round pick and a team's focus. How much worse could leaving in 2018 have been? Stunt number 2, him cutting his hair. Just kidding, being drafted by the Boston Celtics. When Boston took Carsen in the second round, 33rd overall, I just knew this could go great and he takes over the starting point guard spot, or horrible and he's lost in the shuffle of having a team already oiled as a contender. Marcus Smart, newly signed Kemba Walker, coming off being a beast for the Hornets, and Romeo Langford, who the Celtics took lottery in the same draft and had high expectations for at either guard position. The latter happened and Edwards found little opportunity with the Celtics his rookie year and somehow was still better than Romeo Langford. Boston was a horrible fit for Carsen. He's always had the ball in his hands and his game is best when that's the case. Now you may say, well, he's never been that great a distributor of the basketball in high school or in college and didn't do much else on offense. Added to him being a size liability on defense without the steals numbers to make up for that lack, but I still think had he been on a better suited team or one that valued their interest in him like they would a first round pick, he would have had a lot more success. In season 2, his minutes decreased with the addition of Jeff Teague and even Tremont Waters receiving more minutes, resulting in a year much like his first and being traded to the Memphis Grizzlies September 2021. They waived him in 8 days. Stunt number 3, when scoring isn't working. When Carsen Edwards isn't filling up the basket with explosive rim attacks, deep three-pointers, and quick mid-range pull-ups, then what is he for your team? I think this is how coaches viewed Edwards in his brief time in the league. Like mentioned, he needs the ball to be successful. He had a game, Pacers versus Detroit, his final team in the league after signing with them April 2022, where this was on full display. He controlled the pace of the game and made his type of shots, and the result was he clearly could get it done if given the opportunity and full trust. Kinda like he did for Boston in the Summer League before his rookie season, where he averaged 19 points in just 23 minutes a game. What hurt his scoring most was he just wasn't the shooter he once was in college, as each season he shot worse from distance, showing either the different ball or deeper three-point line hurt his results. Whatever the case, going from 31% to 28 to 25, even though just 4 games, was not going to convince a team he deserves to be on a roster, especially when he does nothing else on offense, and defense, he's a liability. Detroit declined their team option and he signed in Turkey for the upcoming season. Once that overseas trek begins, who knows if we'll ever see Carsen Edwards in the NBA again. All in all, circumstances, for the most part, hurt Carsen's longevity. Him being in the wrong draft, taken by a bad-fitting team in the second round with no guarantees at that, and even going to Detroit, where they have 2 point guards they're occupied developing in Hayes and Cunningham. Doesn't help he's played as a 5'11" shooting guard in the league as well. I still think he's an NBA talent. Good luck overseas, but for these reasons, his growth as far as the NBA was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth, and I'm out.